can bring justice to this act and to him. And for James Egan Holmes, justice is death. It's death.
For the death penalty does not bring anyone back. It doesn't make anyone feel better. It just adds to the death count.
The fate of the theater shooter is now in the hands of the jury. The prosecution and defense wrapping up their case just a few hours ago.
The jury deliberated for about an hour but is now home for the evening.
And a decision over life or death could come before the week is over. And 7 News reporter Marshall Zelinger has been in the courtroom. Marshall, during the closings, the victims' families abruptly filed out.
Jessica Gawi's parents were the first to stand up to leave, followed by Alex Steves' mom, Alex Sullivan's dad, Michaela Medic's mom, even Veronica Mosier-Sullivan's mom, Ashley, all left as the defense started their closing arguments. Throughout the course of the trial, during the closing arguments, the victims have stayed in, the victims' families have stayed in during District Attorney George Brockler's closings. Usually there's a break before the defense goes, but not this time. And as soon as Tamara Brady started her closing argument, they all left and went out the back door. Now today, the DA spoke for about 20 minutes, the defense close to 30. George Brockler took an interesting tact. Instead of telling them to kill the defendant, he kept asking the jury if they were actually going to let him live. The defense made sure the jurors understood this is a decision that will follow them after the trial is over.
And he stops pulling the trigger only because the trigger stopped working. Does that get a life sentence for that conduct?
For this will be the most important decision you may ever make in your life. And it needs to be one that you can live with.
In the courtroom today, Ashley Mosier was there, as well as family members representing a majority of the victims, including, as I said, Alex Steves, Jessica Gawi, Michaela Medic, A.J. Boyk, Matt McQuinn, and John Larimer. As for the shooter's parents, they didn't have any reaction despite the references to a death penalty, but they did hold hands. Ann?
Thank you, Marshall. And this is the biggest decision yet the jury will make. So far, decisions have been fairly quick. Took jury members just 13 hours to reach a guilty verdict and less than 3 hours to decide the shooter's mental illness and upbringing didn't outweigh the horror of what he did. 7 News legal analyst Ann Recht says that does not bode well for the defense, but...
And if the defense has persuaded any of the jurors, the discussion will focus on executing severely severely mentally ill people and whether that's the right thing to do or not.
Now, the jury's decision must be unanimous. Otherwise, the shooter will get life in prison without parole. Recht says the jury could come back with a verdict as early as tomorrow, but he thinks it will take them several days. And we will, of course, carry it live on our 7 News app and the denverchannel.com.